racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for this Saturday, the 3rd of August, where we race at Turffontein. We're on the stand side track, and of course, it's a busy day if you are following local racing. Oh, it's a double header. We race alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. So, as always, Alistair Cohen is on the line. I trust you, the valued racing fan, as well. I'd like to take this opportunity, as I did on the previous show with Graham Hawkins, to wish you all the best for the season ahead. Alistair, I think I'll do the same with you. Just looking back on the last season, I think when we have a look at all the programs and the feature races in the respective provinces, it was a top-class season that racing fans were entertained to, wasn't it?
Yeah, good day, Dees. Good day to all the viewers. Last season was magic. I'm one of the lucky ones, although I work with Cape Racing. I still get around, got to most of the big days on the half-vault. I haven't been to PE for a number of months. I love racing down there. But, being able to be a part of it all and being at a lot of the big days, all the big days in Durban, all the big days in Cape Town, we've been treated. We're really lucky in South Africa that we do a lot of things right. And what goes on between the rails at the 7 race courses around South Africa is generally magic. I mean, that's why we're in it, to obviously honour the winners, honour the champions for Equus Awards. That's coming up on the 15th of August. Some categories are going to be very tricky to try and work your way around for the judges. But with that said, when you asked that question, the first day that actually jolted me and came to mind, funny enough, was Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I love the drama of Hollywoodbets Scottsville, the 4 grade ones, the fact that Lucky Lad came from the dead. Okay, he didn't fight that form in the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge, nor the Mercury Sprint just last weekend. But I thought that day, those performances, the performance of Proceed, the way October Morn shrugged off Mrs. Browning, and also the start of the story, this fairy tale story of Quid Pro Quo. So for me, that's the day that stands out. Will be easy to earmark the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Will be easy to earmark the Lomarock Kings Plate for an unbelievable story for Gaynor Rupert, who's put her time, her support, and her money and her love into that race day for over a decade, and now getting her first Kings Plate winner with Charles Dickens. All of those are worthy best-selling chapters through the season, but Hollywoodbets Scottsville for me just struck a chord when you brought it up.
Okay, and that is it. We close the chapter 2023-2024, and the new season has already been in full swing from the 1st of August. Let's get straight into it, Alistair, and we'll begin in race number 1. By the way, just for your information, there are 9 races carded, so the exotics will all begin in race number 2. But in race number 1, maybe we can get some help here, some assistance to try and get some money in the pocket. 12:05 race number 1, 11:60 is the distance, and we are going to give you some betting as the guide. We're also going to give you some updates. Diego de Gaveo is not riding. We await a jockey on number 2, Mohave Man, in race number 1. Number 1, King of Numbers, Alistair, is at even money. Horse number 3 at 9-2. Then we got a first timer for Mike and Adam Azzi at 9-2. That's number 5. Number 6 at 13-2. And then Stuart Pettigrew's runner, number 8, Dwight Eisenhower, is at 7-2. I actually, remember that debut run behind Watchman, because Fabian Habib's runner, Breeze Away, came out to win from that form line. So that's the horse that I'm possibly leaning towards here. But a lot of respect for number 1, King of Numbers.
I don't really know what to make of the first race. Thankfully, it's not part of the exotics. I've narrowed down to 3 horses. It's both the pedigree runners and number 1, King of Numbers. I'd venture to say, knowing what I know about King of Numbers from his time in Cape Town, that he might be a little bit more effective over further than 1,160 metres up. I'd say that he might come into his own when he goes 1,400 metres to a mile. He always showed good work with Justin Snaith. Never quite got across the line. We know that Cape form holds up very well around the rest of the country. So King of Numbers, by that particular metric, comes into the reckoning, but I still think even money might be a little bit skinny, despite the fact Gavin Arena takes it. But for me, Richard Free, different league last season, but Gavin's percentage and Gavin's numbers that he put together on the half-vault deserves a mention as well. He was absolutely top class at the Vala at Turffontein. So from that point of view, King of Numbers does work into the conversation. I'm very interested in these 2 pedigree runners though, Dees. In my opinion, although Watchmen and the second horse Blaze Away were well clear of the third horse, I'm not convinced about what was behind Watchmen on that occasion. But with that said, pedigree doesn't set them up first time out. There's only going to be improvement to come from number 8, Dwight Eisenhower. Jeff Saister retains the ride. There was also money for him first time out. But I think number 6, One and All, is going to improve and run into the first 3 here, D's. First run is a gelding for the son of One World. He bunned some very promising 2-year-olds. He was never ready first time out. He's done a lot wrong in his career, and he can only do more right now. So I think a little bit of time, maturity, and gelding that he's going to put up his career best and run into the first 3. So he could end up being the money maker in the first race. At a push, I go from 8. I'll go for number 8, Dwight Eisenhower, to win, but 1 and 6 to get close and just work around those numbers when trying to make a profit off the bat.
Yep, and just so by the way, this whole first timer, a Yukon Hollywoodbets, the only horse for both race meetings, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, Hollywoodbets Turffontein on this Friday. There's only one horse that's attracted some betting support, anti-post, and it's number 5, Yukon, from 5-1 into 7-2. So take note of that. And I must agree with Alistair when he speaks about Gavin Arena, because it's the statistics that count and the percentage and the strike rate. And he's had a very high win strike rate for last season, not too far behind when it comes to that win strike rate, behind Richard Free in excess of 20%. That's 1 in 5 he rides a winner. Race number 2, Bipot, 1800 meters, maiden plate. This is the way they're betting. Number 1 at 8-1. Horse number 4 is at 3.5 to 10. That's how deep they got this one, Alistair. Stuart Pettigrew's daughter of Give Me the Green Light in the red and deep. Number 7, 9-2. By the way, numbers 5 and 8 are scratched here. And that is it. So we got 6 runners go to post. Numbers 5 and 8 being the scratching. An odds-on shot that looks hard to oppose. I think that the question will be, are you looking for this good thing to arrive? Is it a 10 out of 10? Or are you saying you're saying she's the filly to beat, but you're a bit more conservative?
D's, I'm going to spend, let's go 15 seconds on Key Worker.
Yes.
Anchor and all bet. Best bet on the day, full sister to surcharge, draw 1, shallow field. There's no such thing as a racing certainty. I don't believe in racing certainties. Things can go wrong, but Key Worker is very, very close to one of the best bets you'll see all month. Whatever price she is, that's the price she is. I can't see her getting beat.
Okay, that is it. Race number 2, horse number 4, Key Workup. Include in all your multiples for both race meetings. We race alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Race number 3, start of the PA, maiden plate, 1800 meters. You need to get your place accumulator bet on by 13:15. Betting here, Alistair. Number 1, Dual Prophecy, was a blinker strike at 7-2. I see that Gavin Arena has picked up the ride on number 2, Storm Ahead, at 33-10. Number 3 at 4-1. 4 at 7-2, and 6, the Cane Train, is a 5-2 shot. So it's a small field, but it's competitive, because when you see 5-2, 33-10, 7-2, 4-1, it tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're both 5-star bets here, and I've got 3 horses in the bar pot, which is my suggested bet. But that's not to say that I've isolated the winner to just those 3 horses. There are 2, 3, and 6, Storm Ahead, Oraniamund, and the Cane Train. But I believe that Man's Night and Dual Prophecy will have their chance as well. So just kicking for touch here. If you had to push me into a corner for a top bet, it would be number 2, Storm Ahead. Gavin Arena's engagement is one that pricks one's ears. Third run after nearly a year off the track. You can excuse him for possibly needing those runs. They were bad. I don't know how the full line of Press On Regardless is going to work out. There's a school of thought that thinks Press On Regardless is above average, so that gives a little bit of hope. But I think now he's coming to his peak. Third run after a rest. The Aussies had a winner on Thursday at the Val with Caretaker, and I think the son of Rafif might have just sort of come to his peak now, and he's going to run a better race, probably put up his career best here in what is not a very strong race. But when you look around the other form lines, there's nothing to get too excited about. I was bitterly disappointed with the way Oraniaman ran last time. He's got blinkers on for the first time, so that might shake him up. If it has the desired effect, he'll be dangerous. He's bred to stay all day. On the mother's side, they're Gold Cup winners there. I think the one that Mike Bass trained, that Robbie Frad rode, his name escapes me, won in Rose LaHoop's colours, was even Diamond Quest. is from this family. There's stamina all day long with number 3, Aranyamund. So let's see how he goes with blinkers on for the first time. But I'm a little bit once bitten, twice shy with him. And number 6, the Cane Train on the last run, although it came in work riders, and there has been a direct winner out of that form who was trained by Tony Peter. You always got to question the strength of that form as well. So on an improved last run, he goes into the play, but I can't be overly confident. Mun's Night is well overdue, but the yard is absolutely firing, and Dual Prophecy is definitely capable. I think he's got a couple of issues. Funny enough, the full brother to do it again is number 1, Dual Prophecy, by twice over out of Supreme Vision. Rather see it again. Pierce Stratum takes the ride. That's ironic. If he's brushed off his issues, he'll be a big player as well. I don't really know where to look in for a winner in the first leg of the PA, but bar numbers 2, 3, and 6 should survive with those 3.
Okay, Alistair playing it safe there in race number 3. On to race number 4, and it's the big one, the Pick 6 with the 9 races carded. It's over 1,800 meters. We'll bring up the field and have a look at the betting here in race number 9, where number 2, Thambi, is a 3-to-1 shot, and the stable of Lorenzo Karim, they seem to be having their winners of late, so well done to them. Number 3 at 22-10. Horse number 6 is Haslo Grande, that is at 5-2. Then we go on to number 7, 5th of July at 3-1, and number 8 is a scratching. So it is the start of the Pick 6. There's 2 centers that we got to play in if we want to play the big one on Saturday. But how do we kick things off at Turffontein in leg 1 of that Pick 6?
I liked him last time. We managed to catch him from a place perspective. That's number 6, Haslo Grande. Peter Sunday Paulie takes the ride for Paul Matchett. This horse's rating has come down steadily from an 80 down to a 70, down another pound for his last run. Early doors, I thought this horse was above average. He's probably not above average, but I definitely think he's good enough for this field. Just the consistent numbers that he's bringing into the picture, the son of a rup, I think could be under the radar and could be set up to run a big race here. He is my fairly strong first choice, is number 6, Haslo Grande. My backup comes from the consistent number 7, 5th of July. I was disappointed with his last run, but he just ran into a little bit of a pocket up towards the inside and maybe left with too much to do. The pace was on that occasion. Marco van Rensburg takes a ride for David Nevenhuizen. David's finished the season quite strong, so he'll be hoping to start the season strongly. He's just a better horse when the grass goes brown. He likes the hard going. When it softens up, he can sort of lose a few lengths and the form loses his gloss. In fact, if you just look at the computer form in his 10 runs, you can tell during the rainy season, during the wet season, he goes missing. But when it gets cold, when it gets hard, number 7, 5th of July runs much better races. The disclaimer with him is that it's been over 1,000 days since he last won. That's always a worry. But I think he'll win sometime this winter, but he's got number 6, Haslo Grande, to beat. Talking about the favourite, number 2, Thambi, Caden Brewer rides for Lorenzo Karim. I'm actually sitting opposite Lorenzo's barn here at Randfontein. I think he's going to be caught out by the stand-side track. He's got a very good turn of foot that serves him well on the inside track, and I think that he just sort of gets found wanting on the stand-side track. I think the sting's there just over the closing stages. Put him into the Pick 6 maybe, but I've left him out of my bar pot on PA.
Okay, number 6 and 7, the principals for Alistair Cohen in race number 4. On to the 5th race, which is Jackpot 1, 1,600 meters, and we'll bring up the field and have a look at the betting. Number 1, give me a shot at 33-10. Horse number 2 at 33-10. Then we got number 3, Soldier's Eye at 8-1. We await a jockey there. Number 4, Key Element at 3-1. 6, Miss Hannigan at 4-1. And 7 at 5-1. Number 8 is now a scratching. Did run the other day, I think, behind Indian Ocean. So that is a scratching now. You know, I just must pay Mr. Lucky Hoedelarkers on a fine day, a really fine day to close off the season. I mean, wow, his stable really finished off with a bang, didn't it?
You know what, Deez? It's ironic at the end of the season, obviously, you know, sitting down with Candice and going through her stats. She had 38 winners for the season, trading at a 13.9% strike rate, and only 7 trainers around the country betted that strike rate. And one of them was Lucky Hudalakis. He had an unbelievable season. He finished with a bang at the Val with 3 winners, with 2 smart first-timers, but 1 first-timer in particular that won. In fact, the horse who ran second of Mary Slack's Wilhelmstrustad, I think you can't get a price on that next time, and I think she'll win her race with Francilian. But Lucky had a great season. He trained Grade 1 winner at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth with Dice, wasn't afraid to travel, even won the PE Gold Cup for good measure with Battleground. So credit to Lucky. He's been a shining light for the guys at the Val. There are obviously a lot of smaller trainers out at the Val, and Lucky, I know, sort of goes out of his way to help out the guys that need a little bit of help at the Val. So he deserves it, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I enjoy spending my time with Lucky Hudalakis. I believe he was at the Racing Masters, Dees. How did he go? Because he's one of those shrewdies. Was he in the mix?
Well, his golf was nothing to be desired, but I tell you, if you had to pick a gentleman that had the time of his life, Lucky Hudalakis was top of the leaderboard. The boys really had a good time, but Lucky in particular, I mean, he just stole the show when it comes to those evening functions. So it was really a pleasure having him there. And you're right, Lucky is a treat to be around. He's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and yeah, well done to him. So how many horses do we go here then, Alistair, in your chosen bet? But race number 5, let's bring up the field again in for that 5th race over 1,600 meters whilst we get hold of Alistair Cohen. So we will have a look at that field. Yeah, on the horizon was the horse that I was talking about, and yeah, she's possibly the right horse in the race. You know, just looking at her stats, being a 5-time winner with 3 places from 9 runs. I'm actually going to lean towards her as possibly the horse to beat you, number 2 on the horizon. But I think horse number 1, which is Give Me a Shot, on her reputation and of course her best form, and the fact that she's raced against some company that is far stronger than she meets here. You just have to have a look at the average rating column, and you can see how they've been placing her. Number 1, Give Me a Shot, and you'll know that in this type of company she demands the utmost respect. And then maybe number 4. So I'll be looking around numbers 1, 2, 4, and then possibly, you know, number 6 and 7, but then it becomes an expensive exercise because it's just 7 runners that go to post. But we got Alistair Cohen back. Alistair was trying to, you know, make sense of it all in the 7-horse field, and it's very difficult to try and go for 3 runners. If that's not the case, then it's a field.
Yeah, I heard every word you said. Those 3 runners, 1, 2, and 4, are my leading lights. So the only horses I want to know about on the pick 6 as well. Bonnet's potentially the other one, but I'm gonna stick with 1, 2, and 4. On the horizon's been expertly placed by Lucky Hudalakis. You know, last time in the Compendium Insurance Handicap, ran 8th behind Arena Trogon, probably left with too much to do, made up a little bit of ground. Prior to that, in great form, in red-hot form for that matter, was number 2 on the horizon. You know, starting her career as a 4-year-old probably did her a world of good because the handicapper couldn't get stuck into her and she was never exposed. And off a rating of 100, yes, life's a little bit harder, but she's acquitting herself very, very nicely. And she is a huge player. But number 1, Give Me a Shot. The fact that she's run with who she's run with is well in the play. She was unlucky last time behind Joker Man. A little bit disappointed with Joker Man on Gold Cup Day in the Open and the Dali Arabian. But Give Me a Shot was unlucky not to finish closer, being steadied late. I liked her last time out. She cost me in the PA. But I'll definitely back her up. And I've always believed that key elements of a reasonable ability, and with 54 kilos at a draw 1, I'll give her a chance in this field. I think if she had a little bit more weight to carry, I'll probably sidestep her. But she's got an opening here of at least troubling them.
Okay, you heard it from Alistair. Race number 5. Race number 6 over 1,400 meters is a merit-rated 74 handicap. It's a C division class. Number 1, Chestnut Bomber, is out. So I'm not going to read out the betting here, Alistair. Okay, maybe I will, but it was 7-2, so there's going to be adjustments. Prior to the scratching, number 3 was 9-2, 4 was 7-1, and 5 was at 7-10. So there will be adjustments, so keep an eye on that, because the scratching of Chestnut Bomber, who ran the other day, on the first day of the season, ran 3rd, I think, beaten a length by Caretaker. So that is out, that won't run. So 5 Corrupt the stable companion, who was backed on debut and won well. As always, Ali, how impressed were you with that for the fixed odds betting market to price the horse up at 7-10 when the stable companion was in the race? Was that a realistic price for you?
I think the writing was on the wall with Chestnut Bomber running on Thursday. I think Johan's been a bit shrewd just to keep this race alive. So I don't think there were too many thoughts in that. Dees, when I looked at Corrupt first time out, bearing in mind that he's a half brother, he's a relation to two South African Derby winners and Indian Ocean, who's obviously won on Thursday over 1,800 meters. I think that still puts into perspective that this horse is just looking for a trip. I'm of the opinion that he beat absolutely nothing first time out, and he will probably never win 1,000 meter or 1,160 meter race again. The only reason why he won is because he's above average. He's now going a better trip. He'll be better and wiser for the run under the belt. And when you look around these, there's just so many horses that have lost their way. He's got to get 2 kilos from his fellow 3-year-old Spring Tradition. I think Corrupt's going to be a better horse than Spring Tradition, so I think that sort of settles that particular debate. I think Guardia Regina, although running 2 nice races in his last 2, he's well and truly exposed. This horse Corrupt isn't. If you're looking to take a double, could be key worker onto Corrupt. Corrupt a banker in the bar pot for me, banker in the place accumulator, and to be honest, just looking at the lack of opposition, he's a banker in the pick 6 and jackpots as well.
More to come after that debut win from Corrupt, and Alistair suggesting on pedigree he is looking for 1,400 meters bluff. So he can be an exciting horse for the season if he continues winning like he did over a distance way too short for him over further. Number 5, Corrupt in race number 6. A good thing for Alistair Cohen, and hopefully that does arrive in the exotics. It'll be a nice fancied result. We've minimized the spend. Let's move along to race number 7, 1160. It's fillies and mares 89 divided handicap. This is the way they're betting, Alistair. Number 3 at 11-2, 4 at 9-2. Number 6, War Queen, is out. 7 at 7-1, 8 at 9-2. And then horse number 10 is trading at 14-10, and I can see why. Initially I said 14-10. I looked at the opposition. I said, no, too short. But I see with the claim 4, over this 1160, and the fact that the filly shows such good early gate speed, this could be off and away in this type of field.
That's the benefit, D's. Draw 1 is not a benefit. I'd say 14-10 is a little bit too short to have a go on. If she drifts to around 5-2, which is a distinct possibility, then maybe we could be game on. But the inside draw just puts me off a little bit with number 10, Water Lucy. She's turned her career around. She was always highly rated by Lucky, and she just failed to get the job done. There was obviously running repairs. Tongue tie went on. Took her a while to acquit herself and to find her winning form with a tongue tie. But all of a sudden, 2 wins straight out of a maiden into a classified, won that and maintained her form. And I thought her last run behind Virginia Beach stands her in good stead, and that's got to be good enough to win, because on that run beat Law of Success and On Cue, who she meets again. The 4 kilo claim could be a masterstroke as well, with Nevin Nastili taking the ride. Obviously Craig Zaki is out of action for a couple of weeks. So number 10, Water Lucy, a huge chance, but I've gone with 4 horses in my bipod here. I think number 3, Wings Within Me, is a player. Bling up for Fabian Habib. She's been banging on the door, and funny enough, her penultimate start was in a middle stakes where she came in fairly well weighted. Of course, the middle stakes does favour the fillies with their 6 allowance, but I thought that run was fair behind Richard the First. I know the form line's weak, but there were a few useful horses around her, and even though she's not won for quite a while, when she beat Law of Success, who she faces again, she could be in the right time at the right place to run very, very close. Number 3, Wings Within Me, so I've got respect for her. Number 4, Law of Success, throws her weight around. What she lacks in ability, she makes up for in just her effort. Spila Sunday Oily takes her out for Paul Matchett. She's going to be bang there. Number 7, Golden Aspen. She's actually come alive of late. I've always been of the opinion that she's a better soft-going horse, but she's a 9-time winner, so she's looking for the elusive double figures. Marco van Rensburg up for Corne Spies. Spies finished the season with a very, very strong July. He'll be hoping to start the season with a strong August as well. Probably didn't get home last time over 14.50. I know she's won over the trip before, but she was just never really in the race behind Here Call Me Bookie. She's beaten Water Lucy, funny enough. enough. I know Waterloo's got the turnaround at the weights, but wherever Waterloo is, Golden Aspen ought to be somewhere there as well.
Okay, if you're not in the camp of number 10, what a Lucy, because you are in the same camp as Alistair Cohen. It's just the draw bias that, is your concern. Then he's giving you some horses for cover there in race number 7. Then on to the 8th race now, and the 8th race, we will close things off when it comes to Jackpot 1. And it is the last double on the card. It's over 1160, fillies and mares 78, divided handicap. And this is the way they're betting. Number 1, Rattlebag at 11-2. Where's the party? Number 2 at 18-10. Horse number 3, Shampimpi at 9-2. Number 4 at 7-1. 5 at 9-2. 7 at 7-1. And horse number 8 at 8-1. Well, you mentioned that this morning, whilst recording the show, that you're spending some time with the missus at the yard. Any news about a horse like Shampimpi?
Yeah, she's obviously been off for a while, for 214 days. She spent some time back at the farm at Turffontein for a couple of months. She's drawn towards the outside. She's had a gallop, so she's not totally unfit. She's probably a run away from hitting her peak, but she's doing nicely at home. And look, her biggest bugbear is the fact that she does pull and fight in the early stages in her races. So if she has matured, which she seems to have done in her gallop, then optimistic that she can run into the first 3 Ds. So don't leave her out of your place accumulators and potentially trifectas and swingers, etc. But I think number 2, Where's the Party, is going to be a hard horse to beat. She's turned the corner since getting to Joburg. She won in her first start. She was given a £6 penalty, and that may have just stunted her growth. But she has been unlucky at her last 2 as well. She was carried out at her penultimate start when, was she making a winning run? Probably not. But here, Call Me Boki is now rated in the 90s, and I know there are aspirations to get her into feature races, starting with the Lady Stakes at the end of August, and potentially getting her into the Joburg Spring Challenge at the start of October. She'll need to probably win another race to be taken seriously there, but she could very well be up to it. So that form's worked out well. And again, last time, if Golden Aspen runs well a race earlier in the stronger division of this fillies and mares handicap, then that's going to enhance the chances of number 2. Whereas the Party, Chase Morjan, clearly gets on with her well. Again, last time hampered at the start, she was left with far too much to do. As a result, she made up good ground late. If you go watch that rerun a few strides after the line, she was well in front of Golden Aspen and those horses who finished in front of her. So she's going to be a hard filly to beat. I'd make her a PA banker, but for those that are looking to make a little bit more money, 3 Shampimpi, 5 Wait for Green Light, 7 Raining Rubies, all horses who can get into the top 3.
And we close things off in race number 9. It's over 1,000 meters. It's a classified stakes, and this is the way they're betting. The 9th race, number 1 at 7-1, horse number 2 at 7-2, number 3 at 8-1, number 4 at 9-2. I've got a runner here, Alistair, and I need your comment on this. I don't know if it's the right time to get on, or maybe we wait a bit longer, but I like the look of number 5 here, and that's why I took down the betting at 14-1. Number 6 at 9-2, 7 at 8-1, 8 at 8-1, 9 at 12-1, and 10 at 12-1. Whilst we understand that these horses are dropping in the ratings, and we possibly look for the right type of field, so does the trainer and the connections for when they could possibly come to the races to lead their horse in. But as from a punting perspective, it's about catching the right wave at the right time. I don't know if it is the right time, because the rating drop is significant now for number 5, Heirloom. Maybe it could be a run too soon, or maybe it could be the day that she comes to the 4. I don't know your thoughts, but 14-1, you're not going to get hurt there.
Hey, Deans, I'll tell you what we do, because I don't like the race, and you can't put a pen through any of these, and you can't be overly confident. But Heirloom is definitely in the top half of my selections, and I've got a horse that's just as bizarre, number 9, Life Goes On, and a Jeffrey Saister for Clinton Binder. I'll tell you what we do. We take the quartet here. Perhaps you can structure it revolving around those 2 horses, numbers 5 Heirloom and 9 Life Goes On, and hopefully we can make a little bit of money. Because if you throw any horse at me, I wouldn't be able to write them off, and if I threw any horse at you, I wouldn't be overly confident about them. I just think there's a bit of value about number 9 Life Goes On, whatever price he is, and I think that number 5 Heirloom definitely has appeared on my radar over the last 2 starts, and she would not be featuring out of turn for me.
Okay, so this is what we do. There's two ways of playing it. Alistair likes 9, I like 5. Maybe 5 and 9 roving by the field. But if you're going to go for the big cash, the serious cash, then you go 5 and 9 for first. And then you can't look for horses for second and third because you're picking big prize runners here. Maybe by the field, by the field, by the field. And if either of those two horses have to win, or regardless of the results, second, third, and fourth, you're going to have a proper pickup here in race number 9. So two nice roughies there, numbers 5 and 9. Play around them, and I'm sure many will be playing that swinger come race number 9 at 16:45. Okay, Alistair, let's get on to your suggested bet for the show, which comes up on screen.
Yep, it's a bar pot that starts in race number 2 at 20 to 1. Open up with banker number 4, Keyworker, very, very hard to beat. Bar 2, 3, and 6, those are Storm Ahead, Oroniumund, and the Cane Train, but certainly not suggesting that those are the only 3 with winning chances. Bar 6 and 7, those are Haslo Grande and 5th of July. Bar 1, 2, and 4, Give Me a Shot, On the Horizon, Key Element. Bar banker number 5, Corrupt, by a lot of horses in the final leg of the bar pot, 3, 4, 7, and 10. Those horses, of course, being Wings Within Me, Law of Success, Golden Aspen, and Waterloosey. Not breaking the bank for this bar pot. Hopefully that everything goes according to plan, because I think especially with that quartet in the last race, if that comes right, it could be a wonderful Saturday.
Okay, you got 2 bankers in the bar pot. You're well covered. If you're running in the last, you could possibly double up there. And as always, like to thank Alistair Cohen for his valuable time throughout last season. Alistair, thank you from all the racing fans out there. It's just not to arrive and pitch and, just get on with it. There's a lot of work done behind the scenes. And we thank you for your valuable time when it comes to racing from Gauteng, be it at the Vaal or at Turffontein, and for previewing our shows for Gallop TV. So on behalf of everybody at Gallop TV and the racing fans, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dees, and to everyone that gets involved, Graham and Cape Town, Grants and PE, and the team down in Durban, led by yourself, Raheel, Devon, Warren and Sheldon, and also Graham, who's been in town. These Gallop previews get a lot of traction, they get a lot of attention. All we want to do is try our best for the punters. We want to see smiling faces at the end. Obviously, it's not easy to get it right 100% of the time, but it's thoroughly enjoyable, and just to be part of it with good people like you makes it all the better.
Yeah, it's all about getting the homework done, how much time you got to study, or you just listen to a preview and then work in your numbers with the analysts from the respective centres. But again, as we say goodbye to Alistair Cohen, for Alistair Cohen, Gallop TV, and myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan. Again, I wish you all the best for the season ahead. May it turn out to be a very successful one for you. Have a blast, find all the winners, and I know it's going to turn out to be a successful day if you race at Turffontein on this Saturday, the 3rd of August. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Kahle.